Good evening. It's Don Palayo checking in with you guys. It's been a little time. Probably been wondering where I'm at. Well, those of you that watch my channel, I'm I've taken a little hiatus from it all. It's been kind of a busy time for me, and I guess I'll get you guys caught up with things. Well, we had a really bad winter for one thing. Um, January and most of February, we had a bunch of snow and ice, and it was just kind of a not a great time around these parts. Work has been kind of stressful. My primary job, for those of you that are new to the channel, watching for the first time, I work in finance, work for a financial advisory practice, and do door dashing on the side, believe it or not. Primarily do that. I don't necessarily need to do that. I do it to help hit some other financial goals that I have for myself. My base job, I'm able to contribute to my retirement plan and pay all my bills and still have a few $100s a month left over, but it doesn't leave a lot over. And then if you have other financial goals that you want to hit, I'm trying to pay off some debt. I'm trying to also make contributions to a Roth IRA outside of my work plan. I'm trying to save for my kids, those sorts of things. I find I need a DoorDash in order to be able to put enough aside to do all that. Um, I've always felt like I should be making more money in my primary job. I've been working in finance and financial services for 20 years. I have yet to clear 100,000 in a year. Um, there's reasons for that. I've come close, I've come close with that. You know, it's just been, I look back on my career and I can see places where I could have done better, done a little bit more for myself than I did. Took jobs I probably shouldn't have taken. Um, some turns and twists and turns in the path of life that where I made mistakes, and a lot of it had to do with women, to be honest. Um, for those of you that are new here, I grew up in the Mormon church, and I served a mission for the church. I served 2 years in southern Spain, which was a great time in my life. I don't regret having done that at all. Um, Life after the mission was not ideal, I guess you could say. Had a lot of painful events that happened after that. I lost someone that I really felt very strong feelings for, and that really kind of derailed me. I think when I look back on it, I probably should never have gotten married after that, to be honest with you. I think that I'm glad that I had kids. I do not regret having children whatsoever. I think my having kids has been one of the better parts of my life. There's so many people out here that are down on having kids. I don't understand that. Personally, yes, they're expensive. There is a cost to having children, but if I had never had children and it was just me alone, I would feel a lot worse about my life. And that's me personally. I guess everybody may feel a different way about that, but that's how I would feel about it. So I don't regret having kids, but my relationships with women have just not been good. I struggled with dating. And then, I think that trying to get married to one person when deep down inside you're still attached to someone else from your past, it just doesn't work. It's just not going to work. And it was a hard lesson to learn. you know. Um, Very difficult lesson to learn. I went through a period where I was, went through a pretty serious depression for a while with all of that. Probably back about 20 years ago when I was starting to approach the end of my first marriage. That last year and a half before the marriage ended, I was not in a good place mentally. Um, Struggled with a lot of. Um, my marriage had not been very good either. And I'm not saying that to down my ex-wife. I think both of us, we got married when we were really young. I had the problem of not really. I should have dealt with all of that before I ever got into a relationship with somebody else. And I just, yeah, growing up in that Mormon environment, it's like this is what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to go and run out and find somebody and just grab the first person that'll marry you. It's just, I don't know. I'm a little, I don't know. I just didn't. It just turned out that it just didn't work for me. It just never worked out. So you get to a point where it's like, okay, I need to find other things to do with my life, right? And you know, eventually, as I got closer to 40, um, I really began to realize that this whole relationship thing just wasn't for me. Some people have good relationships, and other people. Sorry, I just dropped my. Well, never mind. I'll get it later. I hate these little cracks in the cushions of your chair, and you drop something and it falls down there, and then you can't reach it. But anyway, what am I'm talking about? I'm whining about my past history with relationships, but I'm not whining anymore. I've gone through phases with all of that, I guess I would say. Um, there were periods of very, very sharp pain, um, depression, um, but then and there were periods of a little bit of anger because I never really felt like, as strong as my feelings were for other people, I never felt like anybody really cared that much about me. I've never really felt that. I never really felt like my wives really cared that much about me, so that's a little bit of a. I think that still bothers me a little bit, that I never really meant anything to anybody. I think that bothers a lot of men, that it doesn't feel like nobody really cares about us that much. If we were to disappear, it's like we'd be replaced. They would replace us very easily, and they do. They do replace us very easily, and it just feels like we never mattered to them. You know. So, anyway, here we are in 2026. I have my board right here. This has my first half of 2026 financial goals on it. Different numbers and metrics that I'm working towards for the first half of this year. I'm already a little bit behind, mostly because of the winter weather we had, and I'm not going to go out and DoorDash with ice on the roads and all that mess. So I'm a little bit behind, but I can get caught up. I was looking at that today a little bit, so I'm going to get myself caught up. Um, but I gotta get myself going. I've been feeling very fatigued recently, more than usual. Um, and I don't know if it's just an age thing. I will be 50 in August. I still feel like that's not that old. It's old, but it's old, but it's not that old. I don't feel like I should feel as fatigued as I do. And so that's a little concerning. Um, I think part of it's I just need to be a little bit more active. I need to get out and get more exercise, and I think that that would help. I have also decided, and this is a firm, concrete decision, and this is something I have been thinking about for about 10 years now. That I am going in 2028. I'm thinking like May of 2028. I am going to be hiking the Camino de Santiago. Um, that is on my agenda for 2028. I will be out of the country, outside the United States, for 2 months, hiking across northern Spain. For those of you that are not familiar with the Camino de Santiago, it was an ancient pilgrimage back in the Middle Ages. People from all over Europe would cross over the Pyrenees and walk across northern Spain to a city in northwestern Spain known as Santiago de Compostela, where it was believed that the tomb of the Apostle St. James was located. And there's a whole story behind that. But anyway, today, some people do it for religious purposes. Some people do it for adventure. Some people just, for me, it's a little mix of both. I do think for me, I'm looking at this as sometimes I need a trip just to feel alive, and this would be an amazing experience. At the same time, I am also kind of looking at this as an opportunity to kind of rehabilitate my soul a little bit. I feel my soul feels tired and fatigued from the drudgery of life a little bit. Some mistakes that I've made in my life, um, we all make them. Some of our mistakes are bigger than others, I guess. And I think this experience will be good for me to kind of refresh my soul a little bit. So 2028, probably May through June, those 2 months, I will be out of the country and we will be doing our own little thing. I have to save enough cash for that because being out of the country for 2 months, the majority of that's probably going to be unpaid. I typically get about 3 weeks off a year. So, yeah, so I'm gonna have to save some money to pay bills while that I don't get paid for. So that's part of that. But I've also got to hit my retirement savings goals. I'm trying to build some money for my youngest daughter for college. I'm trying to give my oldest daughter a little bit of money each month as well. So I've got a lot going on. Um, I really feel like I should be making more money, and I like my current job. I do. I think I need to explore more opportunities there. Um, I'm in a role right now where I can qualify for quarterly bonuses, but I don't really participate in the bulk of the money, right? In terms of any kind of commission or anything like that. I mean, I haven't been bringing in any clients of my own. I work for the advisor, so um, I need to explore some avenues there and see what if there are any options for me to participate in the um, you know, any other production. And I've kind of looked into it a little bit, and it doesn't look like it, but it's at least one avenue to kind of to look at. It's kind of hard for me right now because I need a base, a floor income. I couldn't go into a job where it's 100% commission. Right now there's just no way I could do that. I need at least 70,000 a year of income to pay my bills, right? Um, so that just wouldn't work for me. I have to I have to have enough income to make this work. Um, I have been on the sales side before, And, I could potentially look at sales positions somewhere where you have a salary plus, plus bonuses based on production or some kind of commission sketch structure. I'm just going to have to look into that a little bit further. Um, Perhaps I should try to get the CFP. It's funny. I took all of the coursework for the CFP, and I went through all the classes with no problem, and then I went and took the cumulative exam and I got whipped. I mean, the exam just absolutely destroyed me. Some of these things, some of that material on the CFP, it's almost like a CPA exam. It's like they get so in the weeds with tax, and it's like no financial planner or financial advisor is going to get that deep in taxes before you say, okay, we need to bring a CPA into the picture. We're not going to sit there and make all these like complicated tax decisions without consulting a CPA. But for some reason they like to add a bunch of this real complicated tax stuff into the CFP, and it's like that. That's not what a planner does. But I mean, yeah, you need to know about some of these tax rules, but I've never known an advisor that gets super deep on that stuff. So anyway, anyway, Um, it's something I'm still thinking about, but I'm almost 50 and I'm just tired. I'm tired of studying. I am. It's like I'm kind of over all that. It's like, I mean, if I was 30, I would certainly be doing it again, but at 50, it's like I just don't care that much. It would be nice to have it just because I could potentially, after I retire, um, maybe do some financial planning work on the side, write financial plans for people on the side as a source of income in retirement, right? Um, I don't know. Something I've been thinking about. Anyway, if y'all didn't hear the news today, the Supreme Court overruled Trump on the tariff situation, which I have mixed feelings about. Um, I haven't been especially happy with, especially the time that Trump had. He had those 4 years where he had to work to really make a good plan for how he was going to run things if he was reelected. And I just haven't been very happy about how he's gone about things. I voted for him all three times in 2016, 2020, and 2024. Um, there's some things that I've liked, you know, something if I was Trump, what I would have done. I agree with his use of ICE. I think ICE is good. But I think what he should have done is gone into jurisdictions where he's going to have more support. It's almost like Trump is trying to poke the bear, going into Minneapolis and Philadelphia and Seattle and all these blue havens. It's like, how about you? Let's why don't we work on the red areas? Let's work on the red areas of the country where you have some support, where you got local leadership support. It's like, to me, that would be more effective. Um, is going into the red areas where you have more support and can deal with these problems, where you have the support of the local people, right? Um, so that's one thing that I would have done differently. Second, I have not liked all the international stuff that Trump's been trying to do. It's like, one, nobody voted for Trump to go after Greenland or Canada or all of that. That's like that just, Trump voters are sitting there like, what? We're like, this is not what we wanted. We just want Trump. We wanted Trump to focus on fixing problems here at home. We don't want you focused on Canada. We don't want you focused on Greenland. We don't want you focused on Iran, even. Just focus on working on things here at home. It seems like it is virtually impossible to get a leader that will do that on either side. They all do this where they have to do all this international stuff. And I realize we do have to interact with our international people. Trump has done a lot to antagonize our normal allies. Now, I do think that he was right in that our allies need to be doing a little bit more of the lifting. That we've been carrying most of the burden for decades, and Europe does need to pay a little more, in terms of for their own defense, right? I support that, but there's a way to do it and a way not to do it, and I feel like Trump's just been way too antagonistic. It's like he enjoys riling people up, and just being combative, and it hasn't been. If I was going to grade this term for Trump, I would probably give him maybe like a C minus, so far. I just haven't been real happy with how things have gone. Way too much international stuff, not nearly enough substance here at home. I think he has done a pretty good job with the border, dealing with the border problem, especially considering where we were with Biden. So, that, but I think there's been a lot of unforced errors, in the Trump administration. But anyway, um, I'm hoping I find a little bit more energy this weekend. Monday is just right around the corner, and I do feel just kind of tired. There's just this I don't know. It's almost lethargy, just lethargic. I need to figure it out. Whatever's going on with me that way. Um, if any of you have any recommendations on that, please let me know. We'll just see how things go. Um, you guys have a great evening. I need to do a little work around my house. I've already cleaned up my kitchen a little. I still have a little bit of work to do down there, but I'm just feeling a little overwhelmed, I think. I need to make more money. To me, I should be making at least $125,000 a year. That's what I think in my head, considering the years of experience and everything that I have in the industry. And I've never even cleared 100, and I'm just like, I gotta start looking at something there. I've got to figure that out. I need to really run up a bag the next 10 years, going up into retirement. And I don't feel like I'm making enough money to really run it up the way that I want to, I'm actually doing pretty good. I am putting about 15% of my income into my retirement plan at work, plus another 8,600 this year into my Roth. So, that'll put me around 20,000 I'm putting into my retirement accounts this year. But I'm behind. I'm behind, but if I had left women alone and focused on improving my own life, I would be in a lot better place right now. That's true. That's absolutely true. Women are sometimes our downfall, the downfall of every good man, right? Yeah, that's pretty much true. Um, anyway, I'm going to work on things around the house. I've got some organizing I need to do. This place looks like a tornado came through it, so I'm going to work on it. You guys have a great evening. This is Don Pelayo checking out.